There used to be 1,000 voices on the airwaves. News anchors, preachers, late-night hosts. But when the cities fell quiet, when the streets emptied, there was only one left. A man behind a microphone, waiting for calls that should never have reached him. Tonight, we tune into the last of those broadcasts. The phones are still ringing. The lines are still open. But the question is, who's really calling? Open lines, the flicker of old CRT, static clears, revealing a cramped studio. A faded backdrop of a city skyline glows behind the host's desk, the kind you'd expect from a cheap public access program. The host sits at the center, middle-aged, weary, with the air of someone who's done this 1,000 nights in 1,000 half-empty rooms. A neon sign buzzes faintly above him, calling live. He straightens his tie, clears his throat, and forces a smile that feels too wide under the humming studio lights. Host, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or whoever is still out there listening. You've found us. Somehow, welcome back to the call-in show. Same number, same desk, same old me. We're live war at least. The phones are. He chuckles softly. The sound doesn't quite land. Host, now, I know it's been strange lately, but we're still here, broadcasting. And, as always, the lines are open. Whatever's on your mind, call in. Let's talk. He presses a blinking button. A faint click, a caller's voice, tinny through the speaker, fills the room. Caller 1. First time. First time, long time. Just wanted to say, it's good you're still doing this. My wife and I, we listen every night. The host's grin softens into something almost genuine. Host, hey, I appreciate that. Really. You and your wife, you keep tuning in. That means we keep going. Simple as that. So tell me what's keeping you up tonight. A pause. The line crackles. Caller 1. It's Warmer Underground. That's all. You should go there soon. Warmer Underground. The host blinks, caught off guard. A quick laugh. Too sharp, too rehearsed. Host, huh. Well, aren't you the cheery type? Guess we'll all dig basements, huh? Anyway, thanks for calling. Stay safe. The line cuts with a pop. The host shifts in his chair. His smile twitches, then stiffens back into place. Host, all right then. Line 2, you're on the air. Another click. Caller 2, don't look at the mirrors. That's how they find you. The host stares into the desk microphone, lips parted. A long silence hangs in the studio, broken only by the faint hum of equipment. Host, huh? Guess everyone's in a philosophical mood tonight. Mirrors, huh? All right, folks, you heard it here. No mirrors. He forces another laugh, this one dry. Wipes his forehead with a handkerchief he pulls from his pocket. Host, moving on. Line 3, make it a good one. Click. This time, the caller's voice is calmer, steadier, almost soothing. Caller 3. I like your tie. The host hesitates, looks down at his tie, striped and dull. Looks back up. Host, thanks. My producer picked it out. You've got good taste. Anything else you want to share? The voice lingers a moment, then drops lower. Caller 3, you'll need it. For the funeral? The host slams the button, cutting the line. He exhales hard, adjusts his chair, and smiles shakily back into the camera. Host, well, strong opinions tonight, huh? Folks, remember, it's all in good fun. Just voices on the line. Just words. His eyes flick nervously to the glowing phone panel, where more lines continue to blink, one after another, faster than before. He swallows, forces a practiced charm. Host, let's not get carried away. We've still got a whole night ahead of us. So, keep calling, keep talking. I'm listening. The studio feels colder now, though the host never mentions it. The neon sign hums. The phones keep blinking, each one begging to be answered. And he knows, as he leans forward and hovers his finger over the next line, that someone is waiting. Someone always is. Fade out. The wrong voices. The static fades back in. The host sits a little differently now. His posture tighter, shoulders raised. The blinking lights of the phone panel are faster, more urgent, like heartbeats stacked one over another. He forces a smile, but the cheer no longer reaches his eyes. Host, all right folks, welcome back. Lines are still lit up, so let's keep going. Line 4, you're on the call-in show. A click. The voice that answers is strained, doubled, as if two people are speaking through the same mouth. Caller 4. Hello? Hello? Hello. The host leans forward, trying to brush it off. Host? Hey there, you or you've got a little echo on your line. What's your name? The voice repeats his words. Caller 4. Your name. Your name. Your name. The host freezes, lips still parted from the question. He clears his throat, pushing through the unease. Host. All right, pranksters tonight, huh? Let's try another line. He cuts the caller, presses another blinking button. Click. This voice is steady, but wrong in another way. Flat, hollow. Caller 5, you touched your tie again. The host blinks, his hand dropping from his collar. Host. Excuse me. Caller 5. You smiled too wide. Your hands are sweating. You just shifted your chair to the left. The host sits frozen. A bead of sweat rolls down his temple. Host. Who is this? Are you watching me? How are you? Caller 5. I'm not watching, I'm listening. And I can hear the lights buzzing above you. I can hear the producer breathing behind the glass. I can hear the cameras move, even when they're not supposed to. The host slams the button, severing the call. His hand trembles as he reaches for his coffee mug. He takes a long sip, staring down the desk, trying not to look at the cameras. When he speaks again, his voice is too bright, too desperate. Host. Some real creative callers tonight, huh? Must be Halloween early. Let's keep things light, alright? Next caller. Click. The line is silent for a moment, just faint static, like wind across an open field. Then a voice emerges slow, dragging, like each word is being pulled from somewhere deep. Caller 6. You're running out of time. The host grips the microphone, knuckles white. Host, what do you mean? Caller 6. The clock on the wall says 12:03. But that's not right, is it? Not anymore. The host turns his head slowly, toward the studio wall. There, a battered clock ticks steadily. The hands read 12:03. He stares at it too long, throat dry. When he turns back, the line is dead. The blinking lights remain. Faster, faster. Every button, begging him to press. His smile collapses into a grimace. He presses another line with shaky fingers. Click. This time, the voice is soft, childlike. Caller 7. Why do you keep answering? Don't you know it's only making it worse? The host slams the button without speaking. The studio falls into silence. The neon call-in live sign flickers. For a moment, it looks as though the word live blinks out, leaving only call and glowing above his head. The host pushes himself back in his chair. His hand hovers over the next button, but he doesn't press it yet. He stares into the nearest camera. His eyes are wide, glassy. For the first time, he breaks the showman's mask. H-O-S-T, low, to himself. What the hell is happening? The phones keep blinking faster. Urgent. The sound of each click echoes faintly in the studio, though he hasn't touched a single button. Then, one line lights up brighter than the rest. The red glow pulses steadily, like it's waiting just for him. The host swallows. His hand hovers over the switch, H-O-S-T, whispering, just one more, then I'll stop. His finger presses the button. Click. The line is silent. Then, softly, unmistakably, the caller begins to speak in his own voice. His exact tone, his exact cadence. Caller 8, identical to host. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, whoever's still out there listening. You've found us, somehow. Welcome back to the call-in show. The host's face drains of color. He stares at the microphone. The mimic voice keeps going, perfectly aligned with his old introduction. Caller 8. Same number, same desk, same old me. The host slams the button. Nothing. The voice doesn't cut. He pulls the microphone. Cord nothing. The voice continues, smooth, unstoppable. The host pushes his chair back so hard, it topples. The crash echoes through the silent studio. He stumbles to his feet, staring wildly at the phone lines still blinking red. Every single line now carries his voice, overlapping, perfectly in sync. Callers all in host's voice. Same number, same desk, same old me. Same number, same desk, Same old me. The sound builds like a storm. Louder, louder, until it rattles the glass in the studio. The host covers his ears, mouth open in a silent scream. Fade out. The final call. The storm of overlapping voices cuts out in an instant. Silence. The host stands in the middle of the studio, chest heaving, chair overturned behind him. The red phone panel glows in the darkness, but only one line is lit now, steady, patient. The button pulses like a heartbeat. The host wipes sweat from his brow with a trembling hand. He looks into the camera, eyes wide, searching for something, someone. Then, slowly he approaches the desk. His hand hovers above the button. HOST. Hoarse. Whispering. Just one more. Just one more, and it's done. He presses .click. At first, there's only static low, rolling like a storm across a dead channel. Then, the voice emerges. Smooth, clear, identical. Caller, the host's voice. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or whoever is still out there. The host jerks back, knocking his mug off the desk. Ceramic shatters against the floor. Host, no, 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 no. Caller, still his voice. You're doing a great job, by the way. You always tried so hard to keep things calm, to keep smiling, to keep the audience from seeing what's behind the curtain. The host grips the edge of the desk, his knuckles white. Host, who are you? What are you? The voice chuckles, a perfect imitation of his nervous laugh. Caller, you don't get it yet. I'm you. The part of you that knows the truth. The part that's been waiting for the signal to cut so we can finally speak freely. The host stumbles back, eyes darting toward. The studio clock. It still reads 12:03. The second hand ticks, but it never moves past the 3. HOST, shaking his head. This isn't real. This isn't. Caller interrupting. Real? Tell me, does the glass still fog when you breathe on it? Does the coffee still taste the same, even when it's cold? Look around. Host. Look around. The host hesitates, then turns toward the viewing glass, the big window that separates him from the darkened control room. He breathes. The glass doesn't fog. He drops the microphone. It clatters against the desk. HOST, choked whisper. Oh my God. The caller laughs again, his laugh, but crueler. Caller, now you see, there's nothing out there. Just this room. Just these lights. Just us. And them. The lights above the phone panel flicker, and suddenly the sound of breathing fills the studio. Not from him, not from the control room. From the phones. Heavy, ragged, dozens of breaths pouring through the lines. The host clutches his head, backing into the corner. Host, stop. Please, just stop. The single glowing line pulses brighter. The caller's voice grows louder, closer, until it's as though the host himself is speaking directly into his ear. Caller, whispering. Don't worry, we're not here for you. Not really. The host blinks, confused, desperate. Host. What do you mean, caller? We're here for them. The host's gaze jerks toward the nearest camera. The red recording light blinks. The voice shifts, booming now, no longer private, speaking past the host, straight through the camera. Caller, to the audience. Are you still listening? We know you are. We've heard every breath, every shift in your chair, every time you thought about turning this off, but couldn't. Don't bother looking behind you, it's already here. The host scrambles forward, slamming his hands over the microphone. HOST, screaming, don't listen. Don't listen to it. But the voice speaks louder, effortlessly bleeding through. Caller, your line is open now. The neon sign above the host sputters. Call and live flickers, stuttering, until only one word remains glowing in the darkness. Live. The phones erupt in noise. Dozens of voices, hundreds, all speaking at once the host's voice. The callers, whispers, screams, and the endless phrase repeating over and over. Your line is open now. Your line is open now. Your line is open now. The host claws at the panel, ripping cords, pulling wires, but nothing stops the noise. His own voice comes from every speaker, every line, until he collapses on the floor. Hands pressed tight against his ears. The camera zooms in slightly, as if by unseen hands. The host's face fills the frame, eyes wide, mouth open in a silent scream. Then the feed cuts to black. A few seconds of silence. Then, faintly, the dial tone, the lines have gone dead. The studio is silent, but if you listen closely, you'll still hear the faint hum of static, the echo of a voice that sounds a little too familiar. Maybe you'll hear it tonight, when your phone rings and no one is there. Maybe you'll hear it whispering in your own words, because once the line is open, it never really closes.